Obama versus Trump. Whose presidency was better? Who would win in a one-on-one fight? I can tell you right now, I know who would win that fight. But let's see what the streets is talking about when it comes to Obama versus Trump. Here we go.
Obama did it better. Obama did it better. The new talking point from MAGA is, well, Obama dropped bombs too. Yeah, he did. And he did it better. Obama was able to use surgical strikes and limited military operations to take out targets and not start a fucking war. How about that shit? He did it better. In fact, most of the things that the Trumpies like about Trump, Obama did better. We'll go with unemployment. Obama did better. Economy. Obama did better. Deportations. Obama did better. He was able to deport way more people than Donald Trump, and he's able to do it on 1/10 of the freaking budget. Yeah? And without sending fucking goon squads into American cities. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get across a healthcare bill. Trump can't. Obama did it better. Obama was able to get tax cuts for the low and middle class. Trump for the upper class, for the rich. Obama did it better. So trying to say that Obama did it too on any subject just shows the failure of Trump and the failure of his people to recognize that everything that Trump said Obama did it fucking better. They just don't like that a black man did it better than a white man. And one last point, let's not forget that Obama was able to get Iran to enter into a non-proliferation treaty for nukes. Trump couldn't do it, so Obama did it better.
Well, damn. And here all this time, I just thought Trump was mad that Obama's penis is probably bigger than his. You know, Trump has an obsession with penises. But it's keeping this thing real, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at the stats. Here we go. Here are some stats for you. Obama versus Trump, key presidential stats. This is Obama's entire term versus Trump's one term, so keep that in mind. Jobs created, Obama 11.6, Trump 6.7. Unemployment, Obama 7.8 down to 4.7, Trump 4.7 up to 6.3. GDP 2.3 average, Trump 2.5 average. Little win there, but not enough to change anything. Now, this is where Republicans get it wrong, especially the ones who don't understand stock market. And every white dude swear he gets it, but they don't. I can tell you that right now. Every Democrat is always better for the stock market because they understand that spreading the wealth around increases everybody's ability to have and own stocks and retirement accounts. Damn it.
Yep.
Stock market S&P, Obama, 166%. Trump with a little measly 68%. Federal deficit. 4 years, Obama had 9.3 trillion. 8 years, Obama had 9.3 trillion. In 4 years alone, Trump had 7.8 trillion he put into the deficit. Cuts from the deficit. Obama took out 1.4 trillion and dropped that bitch down to 585 billion. Under Trump, in 4 years, the deficit rose from 8.65 billion that Obama handed him to 3.17 trillion. Now, of course, COVID hit, so you gotta preface it with that. But Obama still would have done it better because the reason we had the COVID was because Trump took down some protections that Obama had in place because he wanted to get rid of everything the black dude did. We cannot have the stench of an African-American man in this White House because it's the White House, not the Black House. Healthcare, health insurance coverage, uninsured rate dropped from, 16% to 9%. With Trump, it rose from what Obama dropped it to 11%. Major wars started, 0 and 0. So let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. For 8 years, America had peace with everybody else. For 8 years under Obama, and for 4 years under Trump. Troops levels overseas, reduced Iraq troops. Trump increased them in Afghanistan. And if you want the cliff notes, ladies and gentlemen, you're keeping notes, this is it right here. Job growth, Obama wins. GDP growth, Trump gets a slight edge. Stock market, Obama. Healthcare, Obama. Debt control, neither. E-Man, when you see those stats and you think about these presidencies, who wins this heavyweight fight for you?
I mean, honestly, I feel like this is a little unfair. Like, and we're not even counting Trump's current year right now.
Nope.
Like, I mean, it's Obama in a landslide. It's not fair. And the thing is that it's amazing to me that if you look at just the facts, just the numbers, arguing against it makes you sound more stupid than anything else. Right?
Exactly.
Like, you could literally have criticisms for both presidents, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think
Any
Obama
president.
was a perfect president at all.
By far
But
not.
if you are just an objective, clear-minded thinker and you know how numbers work, it's not even a contest. Like, what are we even talking about? You know? I mean, the mere fact that, here's one thing that you didn't mention. Obama actually decreased the racial wealth gap.
That's right.
Well, compared
That's
to
right.
Trump. So
That's
in
right.
other words, everybody else, all the black and brown communities, people that have historically been discriminated against in an economic sense, they actually started to get more investments with businesses. They started to have more job growth. But it just so happens, by the way, especially in this current year, this past year of this administration, the black unemployment rate skyrocketed. It went right back up. Now, why did it have to be just the black unemployment rate when you have these policies and all these things of DEI being bad and so on and so forth? Like, what are we talking about? What are you doing? So, yeah, I mean, it's barely even a fight. It really is. Again, you can put your personal feelings aside for either one, but the numbers don't lie. And yes, Obama on every single metric, even immigration. And I think that's probably the biggest one right there. How Obama, he got the nickname deporter in chief. Like, how did he sit here and deport all these people and be stronger on immigration? And he didn't even campaign on that. He didn't, that wasn't even his thing. But he still did it better and more.
And he did it legally.
And legally. He didn't have this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Obama has criticisms that are legit.
Oh,
okay.
By far.
For days. I don't know any president that doesn't have legitimate criticisms against them. But if you're trying to compare the two here, come on now. Like, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, Trump will go down as the worst president historically we ever had. And I'm not talking about personal feelings. I'm talking about, like, statistically, he will be the worst president. He will have the lowest approval ratings. He will have the lowest in terms of actual effectiveness and output. You will see, just like what happened in Germany, you will see people actually regret and actually people hide the fact that they were MAGA, because it's nice right now if your tribe, your team is winning. It feels good. It feels emboldened. But very soon, 5-10 years from now, you're gonna see them hiding. You're gonna see them sitting here being like, MAGA, what's that? You know, like, it's not going to be a thing because there's not going to be anything to brag about. What do you, and I've asked people this too. When you talk about Obama, what has he done for you? Hey, you know what? Pre-existing conditions, being in healthcare was a game changer. If you had cancer and you didn't have insurance and you were getting ignored or denied, that was a game changer that literally saved lives. What can you actually say, unless you're a billionaire, that Trump has done for you? And I'm not talking about these culture wars, because let's be honest, don't nobody care about trans people, 10 trans people in the world who play certain sports. That don't affect your pockets at all. That doesn't affect your daily life at all. But what has Trump actually materially done for you that you can actually say, hey, you know what? This was great. I don't know. Because even when he cut them checks to people, cutting those type of checks, it increases inflation too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a temporary thing. It's not something that's actually good for the economy. Those stimulus checks are not good things. You might think they are, but guess what? They're out of there. Especially didn't he just propose a new healthcare plan where he just wants to give the money to the people instead directly? What do you think these insurance companies are going to do? They're just going to raise their premiums up.
That's it.
What good does it do if the government gives you $2,000, but they don't do anything else about, the rise in gas prices, the rise in energy costs, the rise in healthcare premium? What is that money going to do? It's not going to mean nothing. Now you got to pick between healthcare or feeding your family.
Right. There's people doing that now anyway. I mean, and when white dudes used to always say, well, I'm voting Republican because they're good on the economy and the stock market. I just showed you the data. And I was showing people the data the first time Trump won. No, they're not. They're good at lying about it. They're good at getting on stumping grounds and telling people who have no critical thought, because I'm sorry, anyone who has 3 brain cells that they can rub together and think critically and get beyond racism, get beyond sexism, get beyond the Bible, would know good and damn well the best thing for this country is Democrats. The only problem with Democrats is they don't have big enough balls. That's what Democrats need. Yes, that's what they need. And to sit here and actually let this get in the media, Obama versus Trump, I'm insulted. Like I said earlier, E-Man, DEI is for white guys. Didn't earn it. And Trump certainly didn't earn this shit. I'm getting more into the conspiracy theory that him and all these tech oligarchs did a little bit of cheating, because there were some prediction markets that had Kamala losing by a whole lot 2 nights before. And now, lo and behold, we see some of these companies in bed with the administration trying to take over election voting machines and stuff like that. So,
hey, man,
folks,
listen, he is the epitome of a hit dog hollering. However, he hollers before he gets hit. Everything he accuses other people of doing, it's a tactic because he's going to do it. If he says, oh, they rigged it, they did that, it's because he's going to try to do that. Oh, well, they're politically, coming after me. That's because he's going to do that. Like every single thing that he proclaims that people do, it's stuff that he's going to do. And the whole reason they do that, again, shout out to Roy Cohn, who basically taught him all of this stuff. It's a way to just make people, like you said, that don't have critical thinking can't tell the difference. Like people legitimately can't tell the difference between the two, because they're like, well, he said that they went after him and they went after him and he went after them. What's the difference? And they just don't care.
Exactly. And that's why I say, folks, I have no grace for people talking about their centrists right now. No, you're not. Yeah. No, you're not.
And let me clear that up too. I'm just saying that, like, you're entitled to believe what you want to believe. At this point in time, I agree with you. I wouldn't vote for a centrist because we're too far gone, right? At this point, it makes no sense why we are so lowly ranked globally in education, in healthcare, and in so many other, in manufacturing. Like, we are not as great as this current administration would like people to believe. The one thing that we're great at is military. We great at going to be colonizers. We can definitely go interfere in other people's countries' business. We're great at that. But everything else, not so much.
Exactly. And speaking of colonizing people, please post your comments. Who was the better president? I mean, this should be overwhelming, like 8-2.